Well, we'll stay with Eskom matters. The impact of load shedding and steep interest rates hikes contributed to declining electronic payment transactions during the month of November. That's according to BankservAfrica's Economic Transactions Index. We're joined now by Elize Kruger, who is an independent economist with BankservAfrica. Elize, good evening to you. What are we to make of these numbers that you've recently been looking at?
Yes, Kathy, we've seen a further downward trend in the BETI. Now, the BETI is actually reflecting the value of electronic transactions in the economy, both on the debit and credit side. And over time, we've seen that, this measure or this indicator has got a very good correlation with the GDP rate. So we see strain in the economy, and it's been going on for the past 6 months, according to the BETI, with ongoing negative monthly growth numbers, showing that there's indeed out there some strain, which we then link, as you rightly said, to all the challenges, meaning the factors that are impacting on the economy as a whole, of which load shedding is one.
When we look at just where the economy is, Elize, is it to suggest that perhaps people are using more cash in their transactions than using their cards, or is the message it speaks of just very clear?
Well, let me maybe just firstly say that the BETI measures electronic transactions, okay? So that's EFT mostly. It's not measuring card transactions, as that's not included in this indicator. But just looking at the very recent Black Friday sales, I think, to the contrary, indicating to us definitely less cash expenses and definitely more card transactions or online transactions. Having said that, the BETI is a snapshot of electronic transactions, so it's not incorporating, for instance, the broad, different types of payments.
Sure. And of course, I imagine it also doesn't tell you exactly where it is. People have been spending money or making transfers, based on what you found.
Yeah, so let me say, if you, for instance, did an online transaction in Black Friday and you did it between two different banks, that would have been, reflected in the BETI data. It's only an between different banks, not within the same bank. So from that point of view, we have definitely seen in the November's numbers that there's been an uptick in that type of transactions. But let me maybe just also give a bit of background about the BETI, in the sense that we adjust the nominal data to reflect seasonal factors, or to exclude seasonal factors, and it also gets adjusted for inflation. So the BETI is a real indicator, which also, has got some impact, especially with inflation at elevated levels at the moment. It's been one of the negative factors in calculating the BETI. So it's not quite 100% comparable to looking at nominal spending figures like Black Friday sales.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. Elize Kruger is an independent economist with BankservAfrica.